Good afternoon. Today is Tuesday, January 5th, and today I'll be discussing the 2021 Plano City Council elections. In 2021, there are 4 seats up for election. Place 2 held by Anthony Riccardelli, Place 4 held by Casey Price, Place 8 held by Rick Smith. All 3 of these candidates are up for re-election. And the mayoral seat, Place 6, is held by Mayor Harry LaRosiere, who, due to term limits, can't run again. The way the system works in Plano, places 2 and 4, the candidates from these for these districts have to come from their respective districts. So in blue and green on this map, and so any challengers to Riccardelli or Price will have to come from these areas. But any challengers to Smith and anyone who wants to run for mayor can come from anyone in the city. And the whole city votes on each city council member regardless of their district. So far, only one candidate has announced his intention to run for mayor. That's Planning and Zoning Commission Chairman John Munns. Munns is a former PISD board member and has worked in the Plano city government for some time now. He also has the endorsement of Ann Bacchus, who is one of Plano's perennial candidates. And seems to be qualified for the position. However, his website doesn't have any uh, positions, statements, or really anything besides what's shown here, as well as a donation page and a petition page. That's because candidates in Plano need to gather 140 petitions to get on the ballot before the February 12th deadline. But whatever position that Munns ends up taking on Plano's sort of controversial issues, being obviously property taxes and, of course, high density housing, someone will more than likely run against him, having the opposite view of whatever he ends up saying he believes. So, regardless, this will likely be another contentious election like we had 4 years ago between Bao and LaRosiere. The results of this election are here, and this is an election decided by less than 2,000 votes between these candidates. And only about 30,000 people voted in this election. Here's another city council election where only about 1,000 people decided it, and only about 20,000 people voted. Um, if we look at the presidential election, this state representative. His district covers pretty much only Plano, and he was on the same ballot, obviously, as the presidential election, November 3rd, 2020. Oops. And he had nearly 4 times as many votes cast in his election than the mayoral election 3 years ago. And here is the campaign finance report for the election 4 years ago, and obviously, LaRosiere raised nearly $200,000. So clearly, a lot of money will go into the Plano mayoral race. Likely, Munns will raise a similar amount in his bid. Here are the important dates to keep in mind for this election. January 7th will be an informational meeting regarding the election process. There's a 300-page guideline that candidates have to look into. So, based on the attendance at this meeting, it'll become apparent who is at least considering running for mayor, and whether or not Munns will have any serious competition. On January 13th, the FEC filing period begins. And this is likely why Munns has already launched his website and is gathering petitions. He wants to file his campaign as soon as possible. And that filing period isn't that long, it's only a month. So by February 12th, anyone who hasn't filed to run for city council or mayor can't legally. I'm not 100% sure on these 2 campaign finance report states, but based on my research in other cities, candidates will more than likely have to file a campaign finance report disclosure by April 1st, which is 30 days before the election, and then again another one on April 23rd, which is 8 days before the election. And that's where we get this information here. And then obviously the mayoral election will be on May 1st of this year. So only a few months away, and the mayor is a very important position. And of course, city council members are also. Those places 2, 4, and 8 are also up for re-election. So whatever the results of this election will likely have a major impact on all Plano residents. So